Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Aaron Chalner, aka the CHALL, your Doncaster Rovers fan and YouTube sporting presenter. And today is another transfer update. We have signed another, well, technically it's a new player, but technically not, it's not new. If you get what I mean, if it makes any kind of sense. So it's a new signing technically because he was a free agent in the summer, but technically not because he was in the academy sort of last season and for the past few years. So Tavonga Kuleya has signed a 2-year professional deal. He will wear the number 30 this season and he will be involved in the senior squad. So before we get started, make sure you do like, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell, send this YouTube video. And for now, let's have a look at exactly what is going on around this deal, and also share a little bit of my thoughts on the youth and the sort of young up-and-coming players, because it seems like we're building a long-term future squad here. So Rovers Academy product Tavonga Kuleya has signed a 2-year professional contract with the club. The attacker starts at the club as a 14-year-old and worked his way up to the under-18s until completing his scholarship earlier this summer. He worked under Gary McSheffrey in the under-18s setup and has impressed during pre-season, having trained with the senior squad while he recovered from a shoulder injury sustained last season. The 18-year-old made his senior debut in the EFL Trophy win over Scunthorpe United last season, assisting 1 goal, before coming off the bench against Alexandria in the same competition. He will wear the number 30 shirt for the upcoming season. He said, "I've spent a lot of time at the training ground this summer. Everyone has been really positive. It's a good move within the group. I've learnt a lot from spending time around the senior professionals with everything they do on and off the field." Manager Gary McSheffrey said he's put a lot of hard work in to get into this position he's in now. He's come in during pre-season and really impressed. We've managed to get him minutes and he's looked good in those, so we're pleased to have him signed here. Now let's share a little bit more on my thoughts on the signing of Kuleya and a little bit of a recap, as I said earlier, about the long-term squad that we're building here, because it seems like we've got a lot of young players that are going to be coming through for years to come. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. That is the news update on Tavonga Kuleya. Now, first of all, before we get into the youth and the future Rovers and stuff like that, first of all, the signing itself. Brilliant signing, no faults with it. Assisted the goal against Scunthorpe in the trophy. In Wakefield in pre-season this summer, he looked a real threat on the wing. Really technically gifted player at 18 years old. Really got a bright future ahead of him. And I think signing someone like that on an initial 2-year professional contract and maybe even extend it in a year or 2 time, hopefully that's a good sign of things to come. I do have confidence that if he does well, we will extend it, because the new football structure would not allow such a talented player to go without making some money on it. For me, I think Kuleya could be a bright prospect for Rovers. A few years' time, he could really be stamping into this first team. So for me, I think Kuleya is a good young player for years to come, and it's great that we've got him signed to a professional contract. Now, this brings up a nice little debate here. The youth, the young future of Doncaster Rovers Football Club. So looking at who we've got in the squad already that are sort of around 21 and under, let's go for that, like 20, 21 and under, let's go with that. So in terms of the players that are 21 and under, we've got Joe Olowu, who's just turned 22, Ollie Young, that's just turned 22, so they were a part of that sort of group. We've got Aidan Barlow, who's 22 as well. We've got Charlie Seaman, who turned 22 as well. You've got Liam Ravenhill, who is only 19 years old, turns 20 in November. You've got Bottomley, who's around that 19 mark. You've got Faulkner, who's 18. You've got Rio Griffiths, who's only 22. You've got Josh Andrews on loan, who, you know, is 20 years old, but he goes back to Birmingham in 6 months. You've got Adam Long, who's 21. You've got Maxwell, who's 20 years old. You've got Carl Hurst, who's 21 years old. And then you've got Kuleya, who's 18 years old. We're building, apart from Andrews, who goes back to Birmingham in January and possibly in the summer next year if we decide to extend that loan deal, we've got some young up-and-coming players. We've got the experience like your Mitchells, your Taylors, your Rose, your Close, your Andersons, that kind of experience. Noyle as well, Roshan Williams, we've got, and Clayton, we've got that experience, but we've got the young players coming up. And I think if down the line, either next summer or January after next, and those upcoming windows, we find long-term replacements for the experienced players, that's a great transfer policy. I think that's a fantastic transfer policy, especially if you're bringing in the youth academy as well. I just talked about the senior players that are sort of 21, 22 or under. I'm not even that's not even acknowledging the under 18s and the academy. And look at the academy, under 14s, something like that, went to Manchester United. I'm hearing for like 100 grand each. I mean, I don't know where I heard that from, but I heard from someone somewhere that there were 100 grand per player. That's what I'm hearing anyway. It's ridiculous. Like, look at the academy and how talented those bunch of players are. Under 18s especially. I watch the under 18s more than any of the academy. And they've got some really talented youngsters in there. Then you've got the senior squad with your 21, 22 and under players, which is, I guess, pretty much nearly half the squad. So, for me, the future of Doncaster Rovers Football Club now seems a lot brighter than it was because of the long-term players we've got and the value they could bring. We saw it on the opening day against Bradford anyway. Maxwell, great at left-back. Kyle Hurst put in a decent shift. Andrews tried hard for the 45 minutes he played. De Grucci, that's another player that I forgot to mention. De Grucci, 18 years old. Wasn't the biggest and greatest performance ever, but he's still 18 years old. He put in a decent shift. It was an okay shift against Bradford, against one of the title favourites. And for me personally, having that kind of, at least half the squad, nearly 3/4 of the squad being that sort of 22, 23 under, I think it provides a great platform for a long-term squad, and it's nice that we're building a long-term squad on 2-year contracts, 3-year contracts, that kind of thing. Then you've got your prime age players. You got your players that are sort of around the 25 to 27 mark. They're going to be your prime players coming up as well. So for me, I think it's great having that mixed range, and especially with the youth, focusing on the youth specifically. First of all, the amount of great long-term players that we could have in this squad is, honestly, it is scary. It is honestly feeling scary. I think the more great performances we put in this season, the more scary the future's going to be for Doncaster Rovers. I honestly believe that for a fact. But we can't hype ourselves up too much. We've got to see what happens over the next couple of years at least, see what the development lies. It's all about the development of these players now. You've got the potential there. Now develop them the right way to help them reach that potential. Get them working the right way. Get the team working like clockwork. Game management, that was our main focus going into this season. We did the game management on Saturday. 45 minutes with 10 men. We saw the game out and we did very well. So for me, I think, we've got a team now with proper game management. If we're going to play that style of football every week, I'll start worrying that we might be even worse than Steve Bruce. But I don't think that'll be every week. We saw it in pre-season. That will not be the style of football every week. It is literally just game management. We have to play a certain style to see a game out. We can understand that from our point of view. So it's all about game management at the end of the day. And I do expect to see more attacking football at home and also away games. If we want to go for it, then I expect to see more of that. But yeah, for me with the youth, I think the potential of the youth is scary, especially with Kuleya coming in now as well. In terms of the rest of the window, do I think that's the winger position sorted? I'm not going to lie, I do think it's sorted. I don't think we'll go for a winger loney anymore. I think if we're going to go for a loney, it's going to be in the midfield. It's going to be another centre midfielder, either this week or next week, or just any time before the end of the window. I don't think we're going to go for a winger anymore on loan. Ross Bacawson, we knew the talks weren't concrete, but I think that's it now. When you look at the winger options, when you got Taylor coming back, you got Molyneux coming back, you got Rowe coming back, Hurst, Tomlin, if he picks up his act, De Grucci, Kuleya. We've got so many wingers now, especially when they start coming back as well. Mix of experience and youth. I think that winger position's done, sorted for me. I think the next thing should be either a creative playmaker midfielder or a deep line playmaker midfielder, like a proper Adam Clayton type role, long-term role, to compete with him and to keep him fit. So when Clayton's not fit enough to start, we need a proper CDM that's going to come in there and do the job. I did mention it on Twitter, but I think one name that's not a loan option, but I think could be a good permanent free agent option is Elijah Dixon-Bonner from the used to be at Liverpool, on the bench in the Champions League last season, played in the FA Cup, learned from the experienced lads at Liverpool, training with them at times. For me, I think that would be a good free agent option. Wouldn't get paid a lot either, a couple of grand a week at best. If we can afford that, that'd be a transfer I'd go for. And maybe that would not even warrant a loan signing. Maybe that's one midfield. Maybe if you bring in Elijah Dixon-Bonner, maybe that doesn't warrant a lone midfielder, and maybe just get maybe a loney left back or something just to cover that position, and then that's the window sorted. So I think the transfer window is really starting to come in together now. Like I said, the majority of our business was done a week before the season started, but now we've got Kuleya in, now we've got De Grucci in, a couple of extra young players there to bolster future ranks in the attacking field, and we're looking stronger and stronger. So for me, I think the club's only going up and up, and fingers crossed that continues. So welcome back to Tavonga Kuleya, welcome to the senior squad. Hopefully get some minutes into you, lad. But that is it for this video, guys. Make sure you do like, comment, subscribe. There is plenty of content coming your way. As you'll have seen on Twitter today, I have confirmed the first of 3 interviews for the Matchday launch show on Friday. Mike from Sutton United Talk Time on podcast is coming on the show to discuss the upcoming game on Saturday. Stay tuned for that. A couple of other interviews still to confirm, but I'll confirm then when we get them. There is someone that I have confirmed for a few. I've not confirmed publicly, but there is someone that I'm reaching an agreement for a future show this season. Very excited to share who that might be, but stay tuned for more updates on that. Trust me, I'll give you a clue. He works at a top club. But before we get to the end of this video, make sure you do like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, we're getting so close to 2,000 subscribers now. It's unbelievable. Thank you all so much for the support on the Bradford vlog. 3,000 views on the Bradford vlog in, what, 2 days? It's unbelievable. So not even 2 days. So thank you so much for that. I am Aaron Challoner, a.k.a. the CHALL, your Doncaster Rovers fan and YouTube sporting presenter. Keep living the Doncaster Rovers life, and that is full-time. Rovers side die. Thank you very much, and I will see you all for more content this week.